recently had the pleasure of sitting down with Marc Lesser to talk about his book, 7 Practices of a Mindful Leader. I hope you'll enjoy the interview. Your book is called 7 Practices of a Mindful Leader. What are the distinguishing features of a mindful leader?
I immediately think of practice number 7 in the book, which is keep making it simpler. So I would say that what distinguishes a mindful leader is someone who is developing self-awareness and helping others. Those are really the two things that, in fact, that's almost a good working definition of what mindfulness is, the practice of knowing yourself and helping others. Pretty good, I think.
I think so, yeah. You were instrumental in creating Google's Search Inside Yourself mindfulness course. Can you talk to us about the merging of mindfulness in the workplace?
Sure. Yeah, I was really lucky to be the right time, right place, just as the idea had floated up at Google to create a program that would bring mindfulness and mindfulness meditation into the workplace. And I got to be there at the very, very early days of creating that program and testing it and developing it and seeing it become, over time, it was actually a few-year period, it became more and more popular. And then it became crazy popular at Google. People were it was really hard to get into. So it was nice that when people came to one of our Search Inside Yourself classes, they were really happy because it was like they won the lottery. I think, to answer the question, I think that Google and I think more and more companies are getting the importance of how people work together. And in order for people to work together, there needs to be a certain amount of trust. And in order for there to be trust, people need to develop some basic listening skills, self-awareness skills, empathy skills, communication skills. And I think mindfulness practice is so important at helping to create the kind of baseline capacities needed to develop all of those emotional intelligence skills. And more companies are getting how important all those capacities and skills are.
The first practice in the book is love the work. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. I love that practice. I'm not talking about the usual kind of love. I'm talking about love as a calling, right? These practices came out of what is it you need to know to be a mindfulness teacher? How can you stand up in front of a room of Google engineers or any workplace and really convey what mindfulness is? And this practice came from, in order to do that, you need to love what you're doing. You need to really love connecting with other people. And also, in the book I talk about love the work as a kind of calling, as the first part of the hero's journey of what were you born for? What are you here on the planet to do? That's what I mean by love the work.
And another practice that jumps out to me is don't be an expert. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's a great practice. It's being willing to be a learner, to constantly be a learner, willing to fail, willing to be transparent, willing to not know. And this is so, I think more and more people in the business world are getting that if you want to create new products, if you want to solve real problems, you have to let go of our preconceived ideas and be willing to listen, be willing to not be right all the time, which can be a really hard one. So much of, in the business world, people feel this, you have to be right. And it's okay to be right about certain things, but it's also equally important to be able to let go of knowing, let go of being right, and to have the courage to not be an expert, to not know, and see what comes out of that.
Mm-hmm. What is the one thing you hope readers take away from your book?
I hope that they will become intimate with the 7 practices. Love the work, do the work, don't be an expert, connect to your own pain, connect to the pain of others, depend on others, and keep making it simpler. To me, these 7, and actually, if maybe if you just take any one of them, I think any one of them can be life-changing. But I like the set. I like kind of living with those set of practices. Maybe if there were one, these days I think the keep making it simpler seems to be one that really resonates with people. I notice if I'm teaching, if I'm doing a training about these 7 practices, when I get to the 7th one, there's such a relief, the sense of keep making it simpler. Life is so complicated, stressful, difficult, ambiguous these days that just to stay with what you're doing, keep making it simpler. What's most important? What are your priorities? What are the 3 things you're going to get done today? There's many different ways to practice with keep making it simpler.